Hi, my name's Bethany. This is Benjamin. This is our story. So my name's Bethany, and I grew up in this area, the eldest of a sister and a brother, and both my parents were believers, and we grew up at Willow Creek for a long time. Mom was a pediatric nurse, and Dad was a therapist. My mom passed away in 2009 from breast cancer, and then my dad also suffered some debilitating health things, and that was really hard on the family, but he moved away. He's down in Tennessee, remarried. So I went back to school, became a teacher, and then I went overseas and taught in Abuja, Nigeria for a couple years. I remember just wrestling with God through those couple years. I was dealing with grief of my mom and my family, and then I had been in a very long, romantic relationship with someone, and it had just ended very painfully. So it had been like most of my 20s for about 7.5, 8 years. And I thought I'd marry this person. And so, there was just a lot of dynamics going on as I was in Africa. God was doing a lot, and yet at the same time, I was still very lonely and just longing for love and for marriage, honestly. So I just kind of got into a crowd of, kind of that clubbing atmosphere, the drinking and whatnot. I started dating a guy who was not a believer. He was 100% Israeli, and it was really, I'll be honest, it was very fun because it was just so interesting to know that culture. He was very liberal, though. He wasn't like a devout Jew by any means, but yet we connected, and so we dated for a little while, and then I was like, you know what? I love Jesus and you don't, and this isn't going to work. But then somehow we came back together, and 9 months later, I had Benjamin. It was very hard, and the father did not want the pregnancy or the baby. He just told me to get our lives back on track and take care of it and get rid of it. And I told him, I'm a mother now. Once a mother, always a mother. It's a life, And just because of my poor choices, he should get a chance to live, and know the sunset that I'm staring at. I felt a security with God. I knew he would get me through because he'd gotten me through so much already. In some ways, I felt Jesus saying, Bethany, I know single moms. I know them very, very intimately, actually. And I've got you. My friend, Sarah is her name, she's like, definitely go to ECFA. And I'm like, ECFA? I'm like, oh, you mean that place she's like, Evangelical Children and Family Agency. They will help you out, it's counseling. And she's like, because Bethany, when, Rob and I found out we were pregnant, she's like, I was just a mess. I was so emotional. And it was really really scared. They'll help you, and they'll give you diapers, and they, can give you some stuff if you need it. And I was like, oh, cool, diapers. and I also just wanted pregnancy support because I just didn't, my family, wasn't really in the area. And, my church, obviously, I had a lot of community support, and I did get pregnancy support from my church. But it's different when you go to a counselor and that's that's like what they're supposed to do, is meet with you. And then it's easier in some ways to you don't like to just your friends. It's hard to always bring your troubles. You can, but to have somebody that's like, no, that's my job, is to listen to your troubles and is to help you problem solve, or to support you and just basically tell you what you're feeling is normal and okay. When I met with Allison, it was great, and I just felt like I clicked right away. She was just very warm and friendly, and also like, you can open up to me as much as you want. There's no pressure here. This is just, we will serve you as much as you'll let us, basically. yeah, so then I was able to really open up to her because honestly, I didn't want to be pregnant. I remember crying on the sofa, telling her, I don't want to be pregnant and I love my baby. How do these two feelings coexist, you know? I feel shame and I'm proud that I'm creating a baby. This is amazing, but I'm also ashamed of it. And, you know, it's just this wrestling through the whole thing. And she was so great. I'll never forget. She looked at me and she said, a lot of moms feel that way, and it's okay. Just having a safe space to work through the grief was really helpful because I felt bad not wanting to be pregnant, you know? And yet at the same time, I also was so excited to have a baby. And yeah, are you happy I did? Yeah. And now I can't imagine not having him in my life. And my life is like 1,000 times better with him. So, I mean, honestly, like when he was born, I just was like, you're the best thing I've ever done. And it was all God. And he's just, yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful, you know, how God can turn our sin into life. He can bring all things together for good.